Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't been posting much recently. Ever since the last video, which was the parody video, I took a break. Making content on this channel is much harder than just vlogging because I want content on this channel to be good. I want it to be a channel where you guys come in, either learn something about architecture school or get advice from me if I even have good advice to give you guys. So, how do you guys like my new setting? I kind of like it. Also, it took me a whole day yesterday just to kind of reconfigure my whole bedroom just so I can have like a white wall to film with. The sacrifices I make for you guys. Anyways, welcome back to RayARCH, the channel that is all things architecture. And I finally realize and understand what I want this channel to be. For the longest time, I knew I wanted an architecture channel that's just architectural content related, focused, driven. But then I started to realize, okay, well, what's so great about this channel? And then suddenly I realized I had the answer this whole time. I want this channel to be the channel you go to if you feel stressed out in architecture school, because I want this channel to be that channel that you go to. You know what I'm saying? So if you're ever stressed out in architecture school and you want someone to talk to, or you want someone to listen to you, or you want to listen to me talk, I want my channel to be the place you go to when you feel stressed in architecture school. And I want you to feel relaxed. I want architecture school, the whole experience, to be fun. I want you to feel like architecture school is not a chore. I want you to feel that architecture school isn't there to make you miserable. It kind of is, but if you come here, you won't feel miserable. So for today's video, this is almost like a vlog form, I guess, because it is really chill and laid back. Like, I feel so good right now, so comfortable. Anyways, that's enough for my spiel. I'm gonna tell you guys the two times that I almost quit architecture school, that I just almost gave up. Actually, I kind of gave up, but then I didn't actually go to administrations and be like, I'm dropping out of architecture school. So there were two instances or occasions when I actually just felt like I can't take it anymore, I want to leave. And I'm sure you guys are feeling that right now, or next year, or the past year. Because architecture school is really stressful. Sometimes it gets a little bit out of hand, and you just don't want to do it anymore, and it's totally normal, and we totally get it. Like, if your parents don't get it, I get it, okay? Like, I get yo pain. The first time when I felt like I cannot take architecture school anymore was my first semester of my second year. I had a decent professor. He wasn't the greatest, but he did push me really hard, and I didn't really understand it back then. I did not understand why this guy was making me do all these things and telling me to just keep doing it, and I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Basically what happened was we had to design a work-live space, and being in your second year, you're kind of like, what are you talking about? Is this a conceptual project? Is it a more practical type of project? I don't know. So for the longest time, I was just so confused and I did not know what I was doing. I did not know what I had to do. The professor I had was good at pushing you. He was good at forcing you to do something out of your comfort zone, which is a good thing. But then after he pushes you, he kind of just like, you know how like the snowball effect kind of, things build up and just becomes big? It's like the opposite with him. It's like the longer you spend time with this guy, the less you feel motivated. Towards the end of the semester, I just felt like I don't understand the concept of architecture, and I just don't really click with this professor. I feel like I wouldn't learn much from him, and then I feel like I wouldn't do well moving on. And then there was that one day that just kind of pushed me off the edge. I was in studio, it was studio day, and he came in. For some reason, I don't know if he hated me or not, but he just always picks me last to talk to during our desk break. And I just found it really odd. I wasn't the only like Asian in the studio, was I? Was I the only Asian in that studio? Anyways, for some reason he always picked me last, but that's not the point of, the reason why I wanted to leave architecture school. The reason why I really felt like I cannot belong in a place like this was he literally straight up told me, maybe you should consider another profession, maybe you should consider another major. He said it in those exact words. It crushed me. It was what am I supposed to say? Like, oh, thanks for telling me that I suck and I'm just gonna keep doing this until I die. I didn't know how to answer that question. That wasn't even a question, that was a statement towards me, and I didn't know how to respond, and the only way I knew how to respond was acceptance. If you think that I suck, if you think that I can't make it in architecture school, maybe I can't. Maybe I should drop out. Maybe I don't know. He is a professor after all, right? He should be right. So I talked to my classmates and coworkers and, not coworkers, what am I talking about? Studio mates. I didn't have coworkers back then. I was talking to my studio mates and they all told me, you know, if you really think that this is something you want to pursue for the next 3 years, then do it. Like I said, he doesn't even see me every day. He only sees me twice a week. And every time I see him, it's only for about 15 minutes because I'm always the last one he picks on. So I don't have any time with him. Like, by the time he gets to me, he's like, all right, I gotta go now. If you feel like you can do something, then do it. Don't let other people tell you what you can and what you cannot do. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who's gonna work your ass off for that degree, not someone else. Like, that professor ain't gonna help me get my degree. I worked my ass off to get where I am today and get my degree, so it paid off. And I'm glad that I stuck with what I chose in the beginning. So that was the first incident where I felt like crap, where I felt like I don't belong in architecture school. I don't belong in architecture. That's the first time that happened to me. And it was because a professor told me in a full sentence, maybe you should consider another profession or major. There's no law or there's no rule saying that professors can't beat down on you like that. It kind of sucks when someone who has a professional degree like that, who works in the field, come over to you and tell you, as a second-year student, I didn't have any experience on building models, on designing something, and he came up to me and told me, you suck, get out. It was belittling, it was demeaning, it sucked. But I got over it and I'm here, I'm alive. So the second time that I felt like a crumbled up piece of paper that someone tossed aside in architecture school was in my third year? In my third year, second semester. I love this professor. This time I love this professor. He was like one of the best professors I've had in university. He taught me to think unconventionally and also to just rethink everything. Like redefine, rethink, free-think everything and do research upon research on your work. And I love that about him. I admired this professor so much, and it killed me when he told me that I'm better off as a graphic designer. What? Right before finals, you know, the professor had to make sure that you have all your deliverables, which are plans, section elevations, sketches, diagrams, 3D models, physical model, all that, right? And we had this mock pinup. So my professor was walking around the halls, you know, just looking at all the stuff that were pinned up. And he came to me and, you know, he was just analyzing all the things, making sure I had everything I had or everything I needed. And I had everything I needed at that time. It was like 1 week away from finals. He kind of just stops and pauses for a super long time. And he looks over to me and he tells me something that's really, I don't know if it's a compliment or if it's like a backhanded compliment. He told me that I'm better off as a graphic designer, and I didn't understand. I was just kind of smiling like, oh, thanks. I think he told me the reason why he said that was because he sees me as a graphic designer throughout studio apparently. Like, he didn't see me as an architect because the way I do my work, the way I lay everything out, the way I'm organized, it's not how architects think and act to him. To me, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know architects act a certain way. I mean, I didn't mind this comment as much as I did with the first one, because the first one was just straight up telling me like I sucked. This one was kind of like, you're good, but you are better in this. He kind of walked away and then I was left speechless, standing in the hallway, and I was just like, did he just tell me to quit architecture? Like, did he just really do that? But obviously he didn't mean it in a very like, you know, evil way. Like, I did go home that night though, thinking about what he said, but does this mean that I should take his advice? and just leave. I enjoyed that semester so much. I didn't feel like I don't know. Obviously, I didn't just quit architecture school because I did graduate architecture school, but then from time to time I would think about what he said to me in my third year. And during graduation, I started to, want to pursue this other field of design and art that's not architecture, and maybe I could somehow fuse them together, graphic design and architecture. Somehow I can make both things work together in this world. And that's what I ended up doing. I applied for marketing jobs, I applied for graphic design jobs. It's really hard to find, by the way. I still haven't found the one I want to work for. It is something that I'm glad that my professor told me, and I'm glad that I didn't quit architecture school, and I'm glad that I didn't let his words get to me, because a lot of times you would just take whatever your professor says too hard. A lot of times if you take it too personal, you kind of lose your sense of yourself. So the next time a peer, a professor, a studio mate, someone in the faculty comes up to you and tells you, you suck, you can't do architecture school, well, tell them to screw themselves, except don't really do that because that's rude and you might get expelled, I don't know. But do tell them that, hey, yeah, sure, thanks for your advice and thanks for your comments, but I will make my decision myself and I will choose whether or not to continue this journey of endless nights of no sleeping, or I can just opt out. It's your choice, but most importantly, make sure you make that decision on your own and think about it. Don't just jump to your answer. Don't just jump to a result. This is really important. And with that said, it's your choice. So I'm not here to preach, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here as your friend who has suffered what you are suffering right now. And I just want to share my story because a lot of you guys are, asking me, hey, I feel so lost because I feel like I don't belong here, and then should I quit? And this is my answer to you guys. This is my answer to your questions. I really like doing Q&A, so if you have any more questions, leave in the comment box below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. I mean, why haven't you done so? Do you want to fail architecture school? Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thanks for your comments and feedback and your support on this channel. It means a lot, and you have no idea. I love you guys. See you in the next video, Q&A, vlog, whatever. See you. Bye.